I'm Alex Evers. We're here in Del Mar, my home away from home if I'm not in Hong Kong or Hermosa Beach. I take pictures of horses that run in circles. I push buttons for a living.
Famer with a call. Let's go to Tom Durkee. And they're off.
Well, like my whole life, I just wanted to be involved in horse racing. Like I was going to the racetrack with my grandfather when I was a little kid. So like my earliest memories are being at the track and going to the paddock and going to the track work in the morning.
Ferdinand right there. Ali Sheba on the outside. Ferdinand. Jockeys on the outside. Ali Sheba.
When Ali Sheba got beat by Ferdinand, I was sitting there on my dad's lap and I was wearing my Ali Sheba silks and my jockey costume and I was heartbroken. He comes back and wins at 88 and Ali Sheba was like my real first favorite horse.
And Ali Sheba, America's horse.
Growing up in LA, not around horses, like it wasn't a realistic thing, like not going to the racetrack and actually just hot walking and working from the ground up. And so I ended up going to University of Arizona to appease my parents because they really wanted me to go to school. And I lasted about 21 days. And then I was working in a bank and kind of still just futzing around with it. And I got a nice bonus one day and everyone was like, put your money in the bank and save it. Don't buy a camera. And I went and bought a camera the next day. I don't think there was a specific photo necessarily that was the one moment, but there was like, between Zenyatta when she'd run, I made a nice photo of her down here in Del Mar where she's walking through the archways and she's doing her dance and there's just, the paddock is packed with people. This is a special picture for me because like my dad and my grandfather were like ones that really got me into racing, going to the track with them all the time. And we'd do summer vacations down here at Del Mar. And once I started shooting, we had my credentials obviously, and you'd have like old meet passes and stuff laying around. They all look the same, it's just a different date on them. So on this day, he just took my credential and he went over to the press elevator and went up to the top and snuck up there and he's kind of looking over the horse. And so he's since passed away this summer, but it's a photo I'll have and I'll always know that like that's there in the photo and it's a cool one. And then there's a shot of Comet at the top at Hollywood Park. I brought a fisheye lens and this camera I'd borrowed from work, my corporate job that I wasn't supposed to be borrowing gear from. And it made this insane picture silhouetted with the rain illuminated and like the rail has like this eclipse on it. And it was just kind of insane. And that was like, that winter at Hollywood Park playing with different glass, I started like developing style and seeing where I could be different than other people. And that was kind of like, there's something going on here. I got laid off from my corporate job. And like 2 days later, I got a call from Pat Cummings saying, can you come to Hong Kong? And not really knowing a lot of Hong Kong racing when I got there, I would look at pedigrees and I'd be like, oh, this horse is by this horse, or he's got an American pedigree. And so when Golden 60 ran the first time that I got to see him, it was Champions Day 2019 when Beauty Generation won the mile.
Golden 60, Dan Control's not in the race. Lockheed, Arrow Hapner's laying up. Golden 60 drives at the pair and will take it.
And then he runs and he flies by this John Size horse. And I'll never forget this photo. The John Size horse turns his eye and he's looking at him. He's got this bugged out look. I'd never seen anything like it. Like he just runs by this horse and this horse is trying so hard and Golden 60 goes by him effortlessly. And so we're going through the pandemic and we're getting closer to where everything's shut down. And I was about pack the gear, getting ready to go to the airport, and the jockey club called me. They're like, just don't come. Just in case you get stuck here and you can't make it home to your wife, like it's better off that you stay at home. So I watched his Hong Kong Derby from home, sitting there, and I'm screaming at the TV with Pebbles, and we're going nuts, and he wins and he hits the line, and he's like right in the sweet spot. And like I was so happy for Vincent and Francis, all these people you start getting close to around these horses. And then it hit me that I wasn't there. I didn't realize how much I needed to be around those horses for like my mental well-being and my happiness. And then so it goes through 2020, 2021, and the work's not coming back, and you're seeing clients go away, and I'm sitting there, and the only thing I'd really watch racing-wise was Golden 60. Like I would make a point of it to watch any race that he ran in, and so that's the idea of getting back to see Golden 60, and that just, I was so close. I was like on eBay, I was looking at gear, I was like, I'm done. And the thought of being able to get back to see him was like the only thing that kept me shooting. I don't really get emotional here on this camera stuff because it's like, I think about all the stuff that if I had to quit, I'd miss out on, you know? And yeah, so like, that's why I changed my life. To see an animal that would go consistently give, you know, over 100% over and over and over again, it's admirable. Like that's how I want to live my life, no matter what. And when we eventually got back to see him in 2022, when he got beat by California Spangle, the disappointment of that day at the track, I was like, oh, it was heartbreaking. It reminded me of like being a 3-year-old kid watching Ali Sheba lose that race. And I was like, this is miserable. But that was so instrumental to then getting to the Stewards Cup in January when he ran against Spangle and Romantic Warrior, and he wasn't the favorite, and he came back. And to me, that was the thing about Golden 60 that I loved the most, is anytime he was ever counted out, he always responded like bigger and better. And that's just how I felt about COVID. It's like, if I get back, you're gonna see some stuff, and I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. And now I don't waste a moment behind the lens. Like, every day is special. The love and support I feel from the Jockey Club and the fans in Hong Kong, it's like I can't really describe it. It's nothing like I've experienced. It's been an absolute pleasure as far as my career goes to share their horses with a different audience. Like, I've always said that if I could get one person into racing through my pictures, that's like I'm doing the right thing. And racing is an interesting thing, right? Because you see people like Wayne Lucas that are going to do it until they can't do it anymore. You know, and everyone else around the world's like looking to retire and just get out of things, and I'm looking for a way to extend it and keep going. And the camera gear's getting lighter. As long as my legs and my eyes and my arms and everything can take me there, I'm gonna keep going. The vest we got, they designed these for charity to give away, and it's got, at the time, it had all the big wins that he had on it up to 2022. This is like the #1 most prized possession of mine, is the Stewart Cup saddle towel from Golden 60. And I wouldn't even let my mom take it to get framed. Like, it's gonna be, I'll be the one who takes it, and maybe I'll make a custom frame for it. And then we got the plushies, obviously. Anytime I go over there, I bring them back. This is the first one for the Horse of the Year, and then they made another one, the Pride of Hong Kong, with the Golden 60 watch. Before he'd won the Derby, they decided to that they were gonna make these new era hats for Golden 60. And then this was a giveaway that they had over there.
Is your wife concerned you might love Golden 60 more than her?
Nah, she knows. Look here, you're not. Stop.
There she will be again.
That boss? That's where you going? No, come back. The boss out there. Because wife, dogs, and the horses.